There's a sound in the grass that makes lions stop mid-stride. Not a growl, not a warning shot, a dry, rattling hiss. And every predator within earshot knows exactly what it means. Something small is standing over a kill, and it has already decided it's not walking away. What happens next has been filmed, studied, and documented by wildlife biologists across Africa, and once you see it, you'll never look at small and weak as the same thing again. Picture this. A honey badger has just taken down a venomous snake. A kill that took real risk, real timing, real nerve. Out of nowhere, a hyena twice its size moves in, eyeing the same meal. In most of the animal kingdom, this is where the smaller animal backs off. Not here. The badger doesn't retreat 1 inch. It plants its feet, arches its back, and makes it very clear. This kill isn't up for negotiation. Before we go further, we need to understand why this even matters. In the wild, a stolen kill isn't just a missed meal. It's hours of hunting, wasted. It's energy the badger can't afford to lose twice in 1 day. It's the difference between eating tonight or starving. So when something bigger tries to take what a honey badger earned, it's not stealing food. It's threatening survival itself. And survival is the one thing this animal refuses to gamble with. So how does a 30-pound mammal actually win fights it has no business winning? It starts with the skin. Loose, thick, almost rubbery, up to 6 millimeters in places. When a predator clamps down expecting an easy grip, the skin twists inside the bite, giving the badger just enough room to spin around and strike back. Lions have walked away with a mouthful of hide and nothing else. Add jaws strong enough to crack a tortoise shell and claws built for tearing into hardened earth, and you start to understand why nothing wants a second round. Now here's the detail that turns respect into disbelief. Honey badgers regularly hunt venomous snakes as food, cobras, puff adders, even black mambas. Researchers have documented badgers taking a bite, collapsing for a couple of hours like they've been knocked out cold, then simply standing back up and finishing the meal. Let that sit for a second. An animal that can survive a black mamba bite and still eat. That's not a legend passed around a campfire. That's recorded field biology. Let's kill a myth while we're here. People assume the honey badger's reputation is exaggerated. Internet folklore stitched together from a couple of viral clips. It isn't. Field researchers across multiple reserves have independently recorded badgers driving off jackals, holding firm against hyena clans, and in several cases causing lions to simply abandon a contested carcass rather than keep fighting for it. Multiple scientists, multiple locations, same result, every time. Myth 2. People assume this is just an aggressive animal, picking fights for no reason. Wrong. Every documented confrontation traces back to a specific trigger. A kill, a den with pups inside, or a predator that crossed a line it shouldn't have. The honey badger isn't starting wars. It's finishing the ones brought to its doorstep, and it finishes them completely. Myth 3. People think an animal this size simply can't do real damage to something bigger. That's not what the evidence shows. Jaw pressure strong enough to crack open a tortoise shell, combined with claws built for ripping into packed earth, means a badger doesn't need size to leave lasting damage. It just needs an opening, and it's very good at making one. Here's what actually makes this animal dangerous. It isn't size, and it isn't even the bite. It's that a honey badger never runs the math. Most animals weigh the risk before a fight. Can I win? Is it worth it? Should I walk away? The badger skips that step entirely. It commits fully, every single time, no matter what's standing across from it. And that unpredictability is exactly why predators learn to avoid the confrontation altogether. A lion that's been bitten and refused off a kill by something a fraction of its size doesn't forget. It simply stops testing it. That reputation spreads faster than you'd expect. Predators sharing the same territory as a honey badger learn, often the hard way, that contesting it costs more than it's worth. Not in strength, but in energy, in injury risk, in time that could be spent hunting something less willing to fight to the end. Badger has essentially made itself more trouble than it's worth to challenge. That's not brute force winning the day. That's psychology winning it, one avoided confrontation at a time. There's a name worth mentioning here, because it shows this isn't just about muscle and bite force. A honey badger named Stoffel, kept at a wildlife rehabilitation center in South Africa, became famous among researchers for something unrelated to fighting, escaping, repeatedly. He was documented stacking rocks to reach the top of his enclosure wall, using tools, and problem-solving his way past barriers built specifically to contain him. Keepers eventually had to reinforce his enclosure multiple times. That's not blind instinct defending a meal. That's a genuinely intelligent animal, and it's part of why this species survives situations that would end most others. Now think about where this animal actually lives. Honey badgers range across nearly all of sub-Saharan Africa, parts of the Middle East, and into South Asia, one of the widest distributions of any mustelid on the planet. Desert, grassland, forest, it doesn't matter. They adapt. And an animal that adaptable, that widespread, surviving in wildly different environments for millions of years, isn't thriving by accident. It's thriving because every trait we've walked through, the skin, the venom tolerance, the intelligence, the refusal to back down, works over and over, almost anywhere you drop it. That resilience shows up in the numbers too. Honey badgers are currently listed as a species of least concern, which is genuinely rare for a mid-sized carnivore in regions under serious habitat pressure. Part of that comes down to exactly what we've spent this video unpacking. An animal that predators actively avoid provoking, and that most farmers and herders treat with wary respect rather than open conflict, has a built-in advantage plenty of more impressive predators simply don't get. So picture that scene one more time. A honey badger standing over a kill it earned, with something bigger circling just out of reach, deciding whether tonight is the night it finally tests its luck. Almost every time, the bigger animal makes the same choice. Walk away, not because it couldn't win, because it's already seen what happens to the ones that try. Maybe that's the part worth sitting with. Not the size of the animal, but the size of the decision it makes every single time something bigger shows up expecting it to fold. If this changed the way you see the toughest animal on the planet, hit subscribe. Drop a comment. What animal do you think deserves this next? I read every single one. See you in the next one.